Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. I am here today to chat about the BookTube Prize. I decided not to volunteer to be a judge in round one this year. That is because I'm heading off on a trip in March and I wasn't sure if I would be able to get the books read before I left and didn't want that extra pressure. But I thought it would still be fun to go through the long lists this year and kind of talk about the different groups and the things that I voted for. As usual, a lot of my votes did not make it through to the long list, and that's kind of a trend. That's something that happens with the way I vote, I guess, and my taste. I have kind of eclectic taste, which doesn't always get represented very evenly in the final list, but I'll let you know. We're starting off with the fiction today, and then I will make another video about the nonfiction long list because I did volunteer to judge in both of those. So I have no idea in coming up rounds whether I'll be selected for one or the other or how often, but that is what I have volunteered for, just so you know. And then when I go through the list of potential selections for the long list, I have a system where I rate them based on a check mark, which is a yes, I would want to read it. A circle is a maybe, that I find it vaguely interesting and it might be something that I would be interested in, and then an X for something that I'm not interested in at all. So, and then you see the highlights here. These are the books that actually made it through. So out of the 48, I had 12 that were yes, 19 maybes, and 18 no's. So I'm just going to go through the little graphics with you and let you know the books that appealed to me on these lists, and maybe make some predictions to see which ones I think will get through in each round. In Fiction Group A, we have Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng. I have not read any Celeste Ng, but I am intrigued enough that I thought this book sounded good. The Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty was one that I did not want to read. Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, I didn't vote for, even though I'm a big Barbara Kingsolver fan. So it just wasn't something that appealed to me. Liberation Day was a no. How High We Go in the Dark was a maybe for me. And then Memphis was a yes. So I voted for 2 out of this group, Memphis and Our Missing Hearts. In Fiction Group B, we have Either Or. I have not read the first book in this, so I did not vote for that one. The Book of Geese. Let's see. The Book of Geese was a maybe for me. Vagabonds was a maybe for me. Lucy by the Sea by Elizabeth Strout was a no. I'm not really interested. It's the 4th in a series. Yeah, I've talked many times about my thoughts on whether or not a series should be included in these competitions. The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, I did vote for that one. I was, I think that I've heard a lot about Sylvia Moreno Garcia, her work for her other book, Mexican Gothic. So I did feel that I was curious enough about that I would want to check it out. And then Take My Hand, I did vote for. So I voted for 2 books again in Fiction Group B. So for Fiction Group C, I ended up voting for 2. I think the only short story collection that I voted for was Blank Pages, and that one got through. And Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel was definitely one that I would love to read if it gets through and I get a category with it. I loved Station 11, and I would read The Glass House just to be able to read Sea of Tranquility. I know they're not a series, but they are interlinked in a way that most people recommend you read them in order before you get to the 3rd. And then Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart. I didn't vote for it. nor did I vote for Our Wives Under the Sea, but those were both books that I'm interested in reading. I know Douglas Stewart did Shuggie Bain, which won the Booker, I believe, and so I do intend to read his work eventually, but I didn't want to vote for it because I had a feeling it would get through without my vote, and so that happens quite a bit as well. If I think a book is popular enough to get through without my vote, then I won't vote for it. And I could have done that with Sea of Tranquility as well, but I didn't. I definitely wanted that one to get through. Group D. The Seven Moons of Molly Almeida, I did vote for. I'm very interested in reading that one. I've never read any Ali Smith, which is quite something, but that was a maybe for me. Oh, and I also voted for Moonwitch Spider King by Marlon James because I love Marlon James. I have not read the first book in the series, but they run concurrently, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. And I actually felt more drawn to Moonwitch Spider King because it's a female protagonist. Group E. Let's see. The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell, I've heard a lot about. I don't think I voted for it, though. What is a maybe? This might be actually, oh, and I voted for Afterlives. I thought that book sounded really, really appealing to me. And I think I also voted for Love Marriage. Now that I'm looking at this list, I did. I voted for Love Marriage and Afterlives. I maybe'd The Marriage Portrait. I don't think the Candy House was a no. The English Understand Wool was a no, and Lessons by Ian McEwan, I believe, was also a no for me. Yeah, so mixed bag on that one. Fiction Group F. I definitely voted no for Booth. That just didn't appeal to me at all. Trespasses, let's see, was a maybe for me. Shrines of Gaiety, maybe for me. And then Foster was a maybe. So I had a lot of maybes in here. The Passenger was definitely a no. And then Night Crawling was a maybe. So a lot of maybes in Group F, but none of them that I voted for. Group G, I think I put a lot of maybes in this one as well. Calling for a Blanket Dance was a maybe for me. The Swimmers was a yes. I did vote for The Swimmers. Fellowship Point was a maybe. Night of the Living Res, I don't think I voted for that one. Let's see. It was a maybe as well. So a lot of maybes with one. Oh, I think I did vote for Kaikei. I think I did vote for that one. I tend to vote for books that seem like they're offering a different perspective. Yes, Kaikei by Vaishnavi Patel. I did vote for that one. So 2 again in Group G that I voted for. In Group H, I didn't vote for Glory, but I mean, I think that Glory has, an interesting premise, and I've heard a lot about it. It's gotten a lot of hype. Also for Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, I believe I didn't vote for that one. No, it was an X for me. All This Could Be Different. I did vote for that one. I thought that one sounded like something I would be really interested in. I didn't vote for Carrie Soto Is Back. And I didn't vote for Bliss Montage, I don't believe. I'll just double check. But I mean, I think it's interesting that we voted on short story collections. I think it's really hard to compare short story collections to fiction sometimes, like to a novel sometimes. It's just such a different feel for fiction. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just it'll be interesting to see if any short story collections make it through to the next rounds, because I know that it's a very divisive genre. There's people who love short stories and there's people who really don't. So I don't even know where that book is on here. Now is not the time to panic. Oh yeah, that was a no for me as well. Okay, so out of those groups, I'm just gonna randomly pick one book that I think from each group that's gonna go through. These are gonna be my predictions. So we can look at the end and see if my predictions were correct. So out of, I'm going to go back to front. Out of fiction group H, I think one book that's definitely going to go through is Glory by No Violet Bulawayo. It's just had so much hype, and I think there'll be enough people in the first round that will like it. In fiction group G, the book that I think is going to go through is I'm gonna go for Kaikei by Vaishnavi Patel. That's the one I hope will go through. In fiction group F, I'm going to say Nightcrawling by Leila Motley, because I've heard so many people talking about it, and I think it's gonna appeal to a lot of people. In fiction group E, I am gonna say that the one to go through out of this group will be The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. Group D, I'm going to pick, oh, this one's hard because I've got some that I really like in here. I'm gonna say The Seven Moons of Molly Almeida, even though, and I really hope that Moonwitch Spider King goes through. Group C, I'm going to say Young Mungo, just because I think Douglas Stewart has quite a bit of hype right now. Fiction group B from this list, I'm just going to say Lucy by the Sea, because people love Elizabeth Strout. Whether or not I think her books are good or like worthy, I think people just love Elizabeth Strout, and so that one will definitely go through. And then heard a lot about several of these, but I'm going to say How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu, because I just think that it's going to go through. That's my prediction of one that's going to go through. Okay, so those were my thoughts on the long list for the fiction, and I will check in again with you in a few days and go through the nonfiction long list with you. And I hope that everyone who's currently reading away right now is having a great time in the octafinals of the BookTube Prize for 2023. So I'll check in again soon. Thank you so much for watching.